Hello, YouTubers out there. This is the Boob Wasteland Show, hosted by Jerry Saravia. Today I'm going to talk about a comment that TBS recently made. They had a plea for the advertisers for the show Conan, with the host, late-night host, Conan O'Brien. And that's a show that runs, of course, on TBS at 11 p.m., Monday through Thursday. Now, their plea was to the advertisers. And of course, as you know, without advertisers, you don't have a show, unless, of course, you're on HBO, Showtime, whatever. And even there, I'm sure there are sponsors. But for the most part, for your commercials to keep a show on the air, you need your advertisers. Now, they said that Conan had a combined online and TV audience of 20 million. This is their estimate. Now, online is the key word. His TV audience roughly runs somewhere between 0.7 and 0.8 million people watching. So essentially less really than a million are watching Conan, the Conan show lately. When Conan first premiered in 2010, he had 4.2 million people watching. Of course, the curiosity factor, because at that time, this was post the problems and late night wars with Conan O'Brien and Jay-Leno. 3.3 million of his viewers, when Conan first started, were in the 18 to 49 demographic. That means the rest, 49 above, made 1.1 million, which is pretty damn good for TBS, to be honest with you. Now, this gets more complicated. Lopez Tonight was originally on at 11 p.m. So, guess what? George Lopez had to move his show to midnight, which meant that he lost 40% of his audience after that. Lopez himself, the show rather, I think was roughly under 1 million people watching, if not less, and considerably got less and less after that. So, Conan took over at 11 p.m., which of course precedes Jay-Leno on The Tonight Show and David-Letterman on his own late night. Now, precedes really everyone except for Jon-Stewart on Comedy Central and Stephen Colbert, who, by the way, have a higher, their show does much better than Conan's. Now, online seems to be the focus. Now, you see, Lopez Tonight was not acclimating towards social media. In other words, they weren't on Twitter or Facebook. I guess it was a Twitter account for Lopez, because he read some tweets on the air on his show. But essentially, it was not built for social media. It didn't rely on it. Now, Conan does. He has TeamCoco.com, in addition to the fact that his shows you can watch online for free. So, here's the thing with Conan. The TBS is saying, listen, he may have less than 1 million people watching, but 19 million are loyal viewers online, or followers of Facebook, Twitter, etc. So the question is that now with the sponsors that he has, some that have dropped out, AT&T is still a sponsor in Chevrolet, what will happen to Conan? Howard Stern recently said that he feels Conan will be fired within 3 months due to this, due to what TBS has been saying. Also remember that in August of 2011, Conan, his show was surpassed by every other late-night show except for Chelsea Handler's show. So this is a tough thing. How is this going to get resolved? Now, there were rumors that when Lopez Tonight got canceled, as you all know, was canceled and was let off the air rather abruptly, I would say. 2 nights before they were canceled, they were off the air. That was it. After that, they aired Lopez Tonight on reruns for the next week or two, and then now they're showing The Office. And I don't understand so is it cheaper to show reruns of Lopez Tonight than actually have the show, I guess. So what's going to happen with Conan? I don't know. This is tough because I'm not sure the advertisers are going to buy into what TBS is saying. Sounds like they're trying to save Conan's show, because the show just is not doing well. I mean, it doesn't have the audience, I think, that it deserves in comparison to the fact that at 11 p.m. you also have The Daily Show and Stephen Colbert, and they're doing better, with their audience, their young audience of 18 to 34, 18 to 49, whatever. They're doing better than Conan. Now, another article stipulated that Letterman and Leno are kind of failing in their ratings, and that the young audience is hip to the younger hosts of late night. One of them being Conan O'Brien, and of course Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy-Kimmel. Only problem is that about a week ago, Leno and Jimmy Fallon were up in their ratings. They were above. Letterman lost, I believe, 160 to 200,000 viewers since last year. So it's hard to know what's going to happen. Of course, Letterman may be leaving in a year or so because his contract will be up, or not. Who knows? The shows online are free. Now, I guess advertisers can still be on there, but is that going to be enough to guarantee the show to continue on TBS? I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't understand how these things are decided upon. Social media is a new thing. It's a new entity. It used to be TV ratings were all about keeping shows on the air. And nowadays it's also about online viewing and websites that this somehow makes it justifies keeping it on the air. Now, I like Conan the show. I think it's funny. Probably for TBS, it's not a bad rating, to be honest with you. But is it going to be enough to keep it on if they are pleading to the advertisers to keep it on? I don't know. Because again, without advertisers, you don't have a show. So who knows what's going to happen. Another interesting statistic that I was unaware of is that broadcast networks are shown in 115.9 million households. TBS is on 101 million households. And yet, it doesn't seem to quite, it gets there. I mean, occasionally Conan gets close to Letterman's ratings, but then again, it seems that Jon-Stewart and Stephen Colbert are ahead of everyone. Yet sometimes looks like even Jimmy-Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon, of course Craig-Ferguson, are sometimes ahead and sometimes not. I don't know. This whole thing gets so confusing, but there's also the cost of the show, the production of the show, the salaries. So there's all this to take into account. And this golden nest egg of this 18 to 34 demo, or 18 to 49. Hopefully Howard Stern is wrong. Of course, he did say that Regis Philbin was fired, which I think is nonsense. I don't think he was fired. They probably would have announced if that was the case. I think he was ready to retire, not to be fired. But, Howard Stern says a lot of things. Of course, he doesn't like Leno. Not that I'm a big fan either of Leno, just even in terms of his ethics, because I think Leno is actually funny. But Conan is the one I'm rooting for, and I hope it stays on the air and it's not canceled like like Lopez Tonight. But we'll see what occurs. Those were the rumors when Lopez Tonight was canceled, was that Conan was next at some point. So let's hope that's not the case. So keep watching Conan. Team Coco all the way. But I hope TBS gives it a shot and keeps it on the air. But, money and ratings, that's what counts. And I don't know if social media is going to be enough to save Conan. So, this is the Boob Wasteland Show, signing off.